Howdy, welcome back to another Success Martial Arts training video. So we're continuing our series in our boxing basics. So if you watched the last video, we broke down our stance and how we stand, how we go from one side to the other, training on both sides. And in this video, we are going to be focusing on how we do a jab. So the jab is the most thrown punch in all styles of martial arts. So this is the fastest punch that we will ever teach you. And it's not the most powerful, but it is the quickest. So if you ever watched like a professional boxing match, at the end of the match, they always like to give a breakdown of how many punches are thrown. And usually they break it into two categories. So they say how many jabs were thrown and then how many of every other punch combined. So typically, the jabs, on average, they throw anywhere from 200 to 400 jabs in a 12-round boxing match. And then they throw 200 to 400 of all the other punches. So remember, there's only 4 punches in boxing. There's jab, that's the front hand, there's the cross, then we have the boxer's hook, and then we have our uppercuts. So they throw 200 to 400 jabs throughout in a 12-round boxing match, and they throw 200 to 400 cross, hook, and uppercut combined. So the jab is very, 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 very much used in boxing scenarios. So, and not just in boxing, but in most other striking arts, one of the first punches that you would use to initiate an attack would be a front hand straight punch. They might not call it a jab, they might call it a front punch or something else, but it essentially is the same technique. Maybe a little bit of a variation. So, breaking down this punch. So, again, not a lot of power. So if you're really trying to throw a lot of power in this punch, you're really kind of wasting a lot of energy and you're actually going to leave yourself very vulnerable to being attacked if you're trying to put too much power into this. So you always want to keep in mind that it's about quickness, not the power. So, if I'm in my good boxing stance, and right now I'm standing like a right-handed fighter, so I'm in my orthodox stance. So I got those feet about a shoulder width apart, I'm on my toes, my knees are bent, my hands are up. So it's always that front hand. So it's that straight line punch. I'm going out straight, coming straight back to where it started, right? I'm not gonna pull this punch back and throw a punch from there, right? Again, pulling this back leaves me very vulnerable. And if that person is quick and they can hit me before my punch comes, then that is going to be a bad day for me. So my hand is going right from that microphone position and it's just going straight out, boom, and then straight back. Now, one of the things that we do with our boxing techniques is we want to protect our face. So with my hand up here, I have good protection, but as soon as this hand extends, this whole side of my head is wide open, and if somebody threw a punch, I'm kind of vulnerable to it. So what we want to do is use our shoulder to protect. So when I throw my jab, I also want to lift my shoulder up so that I'm protecting my chin, most importantly, and covering that side of my face, giving me some level of protection. So we're going to throw a couple of jabs with the left hand first. Then we'll switch over to our southpaw stance and we'll practice the same thing. So let's do 5 nice and slow, and then we'll do 5 fast. So from here, what we're going, hands are up, right? Bent knees, toes, weight on the toes. So nice and slow, I'm going out with my punch. And notice my thumb is up until the very end. Right at the very end is when I'm gonna turn my fist and I lift that shoulder up to protect my chin here. Then my hand's gonna turn as it comes back, and that's 1. Let's do 4 more. We go out nice and slow, and turn it over, lift that shoulder last second, pop, and turn as it comes back. That's 2. Here we go, out, turn, back. That's 3. We go out, turn, back. And that's 4. We go out, turn, back, and 5. So, that was nice and slow, getting everything in there. Now we want to try to do it fast and still keep all of that technique. Keeping this hand up, if you notice, the whole time I'm not dropping this hand as I'm throwing that punch. It is staying right there. My elbow is tight to my body. My hand is up kind of by my temple, so I'm getting really good protection on this side of my head. And then as I'm throwing that punch, it's staying in that position. So now we're gonna do 5 fast. So going through, again, keeping that hand, thumb on the top of the hand until the last second when we roll it over and pop that shoulder up to our chin. So here we go, 5 fast, ready? And we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like that. Now, other side. So when I switch those feet, got my hands up. Remember, this is my new backhand. That's my telephone hand. My new front hand is the microphone hand here. So same concept. I'm doing that nice punch, but this time with my right hand and keeping that thumb up until the very last couple inches of the punch. Then I'm gonna roll my fist over as I lift my shoulder up to protect my chin. So from there, again, 5 slow, 5 fast. Here we go. Nice and slow, and 1. Out, roll it over, lift that chin, back. And 2. Last second, back. And 3. And back. And 4. And back. And last one, 5. And back. All right, 5 fast now. Remember, keeping all of that in there. You don't just throw that punch nice and fast and leave all the rest of that technique. We want to keep the exact same thing that we did in that slow punch, but now doing it with that more speed. So, right from there, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's our jab. So, this is a great video just to kind of go back over things and make sure you know how to throw that good jab as we are continuing to work towards using the jab in so many of our boxing combos. So once again, thank you for training, and we'll see you in the next video.